He's waited for this night. He's waited for me. I've waited for him.
Get out! Go home! Get inside!
You don't believe in the boogeyman?
He's here!
Michael! You should.
What's up, everybody? I'm Gabe.
Matt Myers.
Adrian.
And we are 3 parts of Cinema Head. Obviously, we're missing 2 people.
No one cares.
I know Jonathan saw the movie with us.
Yeah.
But
I'll let you guys know what he thinks about it.
it's probably like greasing his hair. That we have JP who didn't see the movie. And he's
Lame-o.
probably also greasing his hair.
He was too scared and wet himself.
Oh, wow.
Today, we're going to talk about personal favorite movie
Oh,
series of mine, Halloween. The new one came out this past week, and we all pretty much went to go see it. Not together. He went to go see it by himself. Me and him and Jonathan went to go see it.
I'm a loner.
So the movie, we'll start off by saying the movie actually takes place after the very first one.
40 years.
So all those other movies don't have any relation to this. The Rob Zombie one was a reboot, obviously, but this movie was like strictly after the first one.
Makes
So
complete
in the
sense.
first one, instead of when they had the chance to kill him and they don't, they take him to the psychiatric ward. It's been 40 years from that moment all the way to this moment.
Right.
That's how the movie is brought up. So it was directed by David Gordon Green.
Yep.
And he's also one of the writers. And one of the writers, which was a surprise, I guess I don't think a lot of people knew, was Danny McBride.
I had no idea.
Saw that in the credits.
Yeah, Danny McBride writes obviously, or is usually an actor in a lot of comedies, and he also writes and produces, I believe, a lot of comedies as well. So that's where a lot of the funny bits in the movie came from, you can tell.
Yeah. You could tell.
Obviously, this stars Jamie Lee Curtis, the main actor in these movies. Actress. I apologize. It also stars Will Patton. He is a cop. He was also in the original 40 years ago. Right, Adrian? Remember that part?
I totally
40 years
do.
ago.
Totally do.
Alright. So the movie starts off essentially with 2 reporters wanting to bring the story to light of Mike Myers, and again, I don't know why they want to after so long. He actually has not talked to anyone for 40 years straight.
40 years straight.
So they're trying to just get a last story to figure out, like what was the purpose of everything, and he still doesn't talk. The new guy that takes care of Mike Myers is actually they could have probably hired the same actor, and there would have been no change.
It's identical.
Yeah,
It's identical from the doctor.
Yeah, he plays the same exact part.
It's the same,
So the whole point of this is before he's getting transported to another facility. So they're trying to catch him before he gets transported to another facility. They don't get any word from him. Then they try to go talk to Jamie Lee Curtis.
Well, they bring out the
character.
mask. They
Oh,
the
yeah,
mask
sorry.
and they hold it, and all those people start going bonkers. And
Yeah, they're pretty much trying to antagonize
Mike
him
doesn't
to
even
say
move.
something at all. So they're holding up the mask and they're like yelling at him, which was kind of funny.
like, say something!
Yeah. And then he doesn't.
And then the credits roll for the beginning of the film.
Yeah.
It's great.
So like for somebody who has seen him and understands, it was very nostalgic. Like it had like the intro was almost like
That's legit.
the same as the first one. Like if you ever watch the intro, it has the pumpkin, and then the nose of the pumpkin is the knife. It's like the actual
Okay.
knife. So that's why like in the nose was like cut out all the way to the mouth.
Makes sense.
Yeah, and then
now.
that's why it zooms into it and everything like that. It's the same thing in the first one. The exact same thing. So like the writers, they actually went back to the old school movies and took from that.
You could definitely tell.
Yeah. So literally, the plot's gonna take about 2 seconds to say. He escapes from this transport. He steals a car. He drives back to town. And he tries to kill Jamie Lee Curtis.
No, that can't be a part of it.
I mean,
Plot twist.
so he kills the reporters in a gas station,
Which it doesn't show that.
and he then takes the mask and he takes the car and he drives off into the sunset. For a Halloween movie, though, this was incredibly gruesome. It was a lot more gruesome than most Halloween movies.
A couple parts of it. See, the main thing I didn't like about it is a couple of the murders you see, he doesn't even show half of them. Like the two bathroom attendants that he kills, he doesn't show
And this
that.
was rated R, obviously, right?
Actually killing the reporters, as you said, I mean, it's intended. I mean, you understand what's happening, but it doesn't show it.
If you're going to be rated R, why don't you just show?
I mean,
Show it
they
off.
did show something that he has never showed. In
That part was...
and he murdered a child.
Not only did it wasn't a quick murder either.
No.
It was a really slow and painful one, by the way.
Usually he walks away from kids in movies, and this one he straight up grabbed that child and slammed his
Now, my
face.
wife made a good point that possibly was a teenager. Because he kills teenagers.
That kid looked
That was
really
a child.
That
He
was,
smokes, he smokes out teenagers.
Who
kid
enjoyed
was
dancing.
young. Yeah.
He'll never dance again.
That was it.
Maybe that was their one, like, wow, there it is.
Yeah, because like that happened, and then in the movie he walks past a baby. The movie has Jamie Lee Curtis,
It happens.
obviously as the main person, and then it has her daughter, who also has a daughter. So the daughter story is super irrelevant because it, like, her love story and all this stuff like happens, and it
matter.
doesn't mean nothing.
Could have just left it
Um,
out.
He threw her phone
Now,
in a bowl of pudding.
Jamie Lee Curtis, his daughter, her story has relevance because basically after the event that happened 40 years ago, when Jamie Lee Curtis, she got married twice, got divorced twice, but she had a daughter out of it, and all she did was teach her daughter how to survive. She has this house that is rigged for everything. It has a basement underneath the center island in their kitchen that opens up, and she has all her guns downstairs. Every room has a switch that a big gate like drops on it, so it's pretty much rigged to capture or kill Mike Myers.
Right.
And the daughter grew up there and pretty much learned everything about it, like how to survive and stuff like that.
Right.
So that comes into play or at the very end, because eventually Mike Myers finds Jamie Lee Curtis's house. And in the movie, this was actually quite funny. In the movie, it hints that like her house is like impenetrable, and he gets in like 2 seconds.
Easy.
So like it really didn't matter. And I was always like wondering why that was, but then obviously at the very end it makes sense. But he gets in like super fast, and then he's basically trying to kill her. He throws her out a window.
He chokes her, he throws her out a window, and somehow she survives all this being 75 years
But
old.
again, that was the same scene as in the first one where he falls out.
But she's
Same
75.
scene as the first
And
one.
he falls
Wow.
out, and
She's
then she
75.
goes to look back, and he's gone. So it was pretty much the same exact thing.
Yeah, but
So-
she fell out,
but
and
she
he
falls
looked
out, yeah.
back, and she was gone.
So
And then I
if-
think at that
If
moment,
there was no way of getting in the house, how'd the daughter get in?
The door was already broken.
the front door was open because he killed the husband. in the
he
front
broke
door.
through the door off that part. That's
But
what she
didn't
did.
she like fall into the backyard where all the mannequins were at?
Yeah, which that was surrounded by a gate. The
That's
whole
what
thing
I'm
was
talking
gated
about.
off.
She falls in there accidentally, and then
There's
she does that Ace Ventura.
there's a
Oh!
lot of. And the thing is, the other thing, I'm glad you thought that, because there's a lot of weird miscues and nothing connects or makes sense. So Jamie Lee Curtis turns on all the lights, but then when she falls into the mannequins,
completely
it's dark.
Yeah, it's super dark.
And then Jason kills the husband and then somehow got the body upstairs into that room. But when the hell would he have time to go get the body? Because there's literally split seconds where Jamie Lee Curtis
Wait,
was
did you
finding
say
him.
Jason?
Michael Myers.
Michael Myers grabs the body and hides it, but when do we have time to hide the body?
But again, I feel again with these movies though, I feel like these movies aren't meant for like straight plots. They're not. They're just meant to be like
Plot holes.
they're just like meant to watch and be like, oh look, he's killing people. Like, oh no, like that's literally what they're for. Because like in any other like movie, it was scary because he would pop out. There's a lot more jump scares that he'd be like hiding behind something. You open the door, and it's not there. Then you open it again, he's there.
Yeah.
And in this one, it was kind of like, I think what messed the movie up,
Was none of the jump scares with him?
it was they showed him too much.
They just showed
He
a
was
lot.
in the movie like the whole entire time. Like
They
it
showed
showed
him a
where
lot.
he was going and everything so much that there wasn't any surprise.
Not only that,
Like at all.
I do want to point one thing out real quick, and then you guys can go because I thought this movie was straight trash.
Dare you say?
I like Jamie Lee Curtis. she's good. She's a good actress. She's been doing movies for forever. But her acting in this movie...
Everyone's acting in this movie was not very
yeah,
good.
but coming to Jamie Lee Curtis...
Even Will Patton's a great actor.
Yeah, that guy is a good actor, too.
He had horrible scenes.
Yeah,
But still, man.
Yeah, I felt like she... And she was a writer. She wrote and executive produced.
Jeez,
so I felt like she put all the effort in, but then it was kind of like...
I
I don't want to do this. Like, halfway through. And it, like... Happy Halloween, Mike.
Oh my
It's
gosh.
like the best part. When she was in the dark.
Jeez,
and her face
man.
popped out.
So much corniness.
Okay, so after all this, so again, he pushes her out. He looks back. She's on the ground. He's like, damn, she's not there no more. Now I'm scared because she's turning the role around on me. She's going to hide, try to kill me. But I'm going to try to kill her daughter and the granddaughter first. So he goes, he hears like the door, because the daughter walks into the house like they said, and he hears it after he throws Jamie Lee Curtis off the roof. So then he goes downstairs, and the mom and the daughter go hiding underneath the island in the kitchen. So he basically rips that off, and then he's looking down, and the daughter shoots him in the face. And then Jamie Lee Curtis says the greatest part in the movie, where she's hiding in the dark, and then her face just pops out.
Pulls an Undertaker.
and then she's like, "Happy Halloween."
I said, now, what I would have thought would have been more interesting if she was hiding in the dark and then popped out of nowhere and said, "Only in America." That would have been great.
So they push him down the stairs. The daughter, and then there's a struggle. He grabs the daughter's leg, or the granddaughter, or no, the actual daughter's leg.
the daughter.
And the granddaughter stabs his hand, and he lets go. And then he's down there. And the whole entire movie, it makes me feel like the house is being this object of keeping people out, but in reality, it's actually to bring them in, to keep them in. So they hit a button, and these like knives, like these swords, like spikes, pretty much block the entrance downstairs. So he's just sitting there looking up, and then she flips a switch, and it causes the house to go on fire. So you think that he's dead because he's in the basement.
But
can't
oh
get out,
wait!
and he's supposed to be dead, right?
It's supposed to be.
So the mom, the daughter, and the granddaughter, they're starting to walk out, and then they see a car coming, and they tell him like, oh, you know, like, hey, please help us. And then the guy takes them, just driving away. So that's pretty much how it ends. And then
it shows the basement without him in it, just burning, and then it shows her with the knife, and then it ends on the knife.
yes, and then as any movie, you look on your phone to see if there's an end credit. And I did, and it said, yeah, there's an end credit. So we stayed. Did you say? Yeah, okay. So like all you hear is him breathe heavily into a microphone. And then it ends. So there was like, it was almost like they made room for a sequel, but I don't think they will make a sequel. Like I think
It's gotta be.
Just let it die.
So I read an interview with Danny McBride, and pretty much what he was saying was that he left it open for another director or writer's interpretation.
Well, it made a lot of money. It already made.
It's gonna make.
I think it estimated at $10 million to make, and they already made $80 million the first
It's
day.
the most that a Halloween movie's ever made. It's the most money that like a horror movie with a
I think
main
it broke
female
an October
actress
record.
and all sorts of stuff. Like it's crazy stuff that it broke, but yeah.
Just let it die, but it's not going. I mean, they made so much money. I mean, think about it. You only spent around $10 million to make, and you made over 80 in 2 days. That's not even counting the week that it came out. It's just 2 days, so they're gonna make another one.
Well, yeah,
They
I
got
mean-
to because it makes so much money.
That's good.
I don't think it's going to continue that story though, unless another director is like, yeah, we're going to continue it on. So the way that like the interview that I saw, David Rice said that he wants to do it as like, or he did it purposely to do it as like Batman's. Because you know how Batmans are done by different directors and they're different. That he left it for their interpretation to do it.
What I'm hoping is that the director from Jason X gets a hold of this, and they do Halloween in space.
In space.
That would be dope. Then I would go watch it. And I bet you I would like it more than this.
All right, so
Okay.
final rating.
Oh, it gets it gets a 0 because it was hilarious. As a comedy, I'll give it like a 7.5. As a horror film, it gets.
All right, anyway, on to you.
Alright, so I'm gonna give it 2 different ratings. I'm gonna give it my personal rating, and then I'm gonna give it based off what it was made, like we did with Sharknado. You know what kind of movie it was. You know what you were going in for. You know what they were trying to make. They were trying to make the original slasher, which they tried to stay to it. They tried their best. It goes back to Myers just being Michael Myers, killing people. For what reason? Because he wants to kill people. So,
Just a psychopath.
as a Halloween movie, I'll probably give it a 7.5. Now, in my personal rating, It was, dare I say, trash, and I'd probably give it a 2.5.
All right.
And I wanted to be good. I really did.
So I'm gonna do 2 ratings just like Matt because I feel like that's actually appropriate.
I gave it 2 ratings, but that's cool.
Trash and trash.
But you gave it one as a comedy.
Oh, yeah,
and one
that's
as,
what
okay.
It's not a
It's
comedy.
definitely.
So as a Halloween movie and
He's
a
down.
personal fan, and I think during our Halloween episode in the past where we talked about our favorite like horror movies, and I'm a
that
Halloween
video
fan, I personally give it a 7.58. And the only reason why I do that is because, like, being a fan, you see all the nostalgia from the original, and also the movies that it completely discredits. It still has like that nostalgia from
It
those
does.
movies too.
That's what
Like the little toy house that's burning. That's actually
That's the
his house.
house,
Yeah, that's the main house in the movie. So like, there's little things that I saw that probably a lot of people who don't watch these movies saw that were like, yeah, whatever. And I was like, oh shit. I won't say the word so we don't have to beep out. So second, the rating was my personal rating,
Oh, wow.
and I will give it a 9.
Oh, okay.
Because I enjoy corny, horrible movies on
what it was.
Halloween.
At least you're admitting
that's
that's
what it
horrible. I'm glad you finally said it's horrible.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to play it off so much that this was a really good movie, and then every single time I thought about it, I was like, why? Why did that happen? Why did this happen?
It was just too
Why
many.
did that-
Even the first one didn't have that many plot holes or mistakes. Like I said, the
Yeah.
body all of a sudden like there was just so much. She ran away from the cops into the woods. Who does that? Who does that?
Or JP's got the
Yeah, like the house is right down the street, and then she like it's literally that commercial where they're like running away from that killer, and they're like, should we take the car that's on, or should we go to this shed that has chainsaws hanging from it? And they're like the chainsaws.
The chainsaw shit.
It's pretty much this like but that's me. But it's because I like campy, corny. I mean, those movies are all good to me. Like regardless, even H2O.
I took my son to watch it.
LL Cool J.
He liked it.
LL Cool J.
My son's 10.
Jason X is better.
Alright, I mean, other than that, guys, there's not really much to talk about besides this wonderful, wonderful horror movie. Made a crap ton of money. So, regardless if it sucked, it made a
lot of money. I gotta give you that.
So, other than that, Matt, would you like to take it away?
This has been Cinema Heads. We watch the movies, so you don't have to.
Don't watch this one.
Don't. Could
Save your
probably save your
JP,
money.
you should watch it.
If you like this video, give us a thumbs up. Start sharing these videos, please, as our subscriber list is jumping. We have finally hit 60 huge subscribers. We are 40 away from 100. Only you can help us. So please share with your friends, share with your family, tell anybody you can. And of course, much love from us if you do that. And of course, this video is boom. It's a plot hole. Do you know what's going to happen to it? It's done!
Oh, God.
If you don't want this to happen to you, you need to make sure you hit that subscribe button and give us a thumbs up. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, or you will die!
Blanigans. Well, Blanigans.
Do that.
Blanigans.
Ow! No. Woo!